Hello and welcome to AirgunWeb.com, your home for honest, real-world airgun reviews and information, where we bring you the facts, not fluff. The heat has finally caught up to us here, and as promised, it's time to take a look at some very indoor-friendly airguns. Starting with the Air Venturi ISSC M22. Now this is a great little blowback BB pistol. It's got some very popular styling as well. Let's go ahead and get started. Let's face it, if you've seen one Replica pistol, you probably already get the idea. These airguns are made to look either very similar or in some cases identical as authentically licensed copies of the real thing. Now our review product today is an officially licensed replica of the Austrian ISSC M22. When looking at replica BB pistols, there are a few things that I look for. Each is going to play an important role on how the product resonates with potential buyers. I break these up into styling, realism, build quality, value, and of course performance. Let's start with styling. There's no doubt that the styling of the M22 is going to connect with a very large group of handgun owners out there. It's all black with features like high-vis sights and front accessory rail. It sports your typical composite grip and metal slide configuration, and it looks really good to me. It's a great representation of a modern handgun. Let's move on to realism. Most everything you see on the product moves and serves a purpose, with the exception of the safety that's molded into the slide. That's just for show. The actual locking safety is located on the trigger blade and must be engaged using the provided key. This tool also doubles as the wrench to puncture the CO2. There's a trigger blade safety as well. You must engage the first blade and match it flat to the trigger in order to fire the pistol. The sights on the M22 are really good, and the rear sight is adjustable for windage, which is very nice. As for build quality, it seems pretty good. We've had this around for a while, it's not given us any problems, cycles very smoothly. We've shot all different types of BBs in it, not had any jams or any failures. So far it's been a very solid performer. Now the trigger does take a little getting used to with that trigger safety. You have to make sure that's fully seated against the trigger blade, or the trigger pull can be a little rough. One of the things I really like is having the valve in the magazine. This means if there's ever a failure in the valve, you can just replace the magazine and not have to replace the whole gun. I really like that feature. Let's go ahead and talk value. The M22 sells right in that $100 price bracket, and that's a very competitive space for sure. Having worked with it for a while, I really think that there is a lot of value here. It has a snappy blowback, really feels good in the hand, great CO2 usage, and I really like those open sights, especially that you can adjust the rear sight. For me, all of that adds up to a lot of value. Operation of the M22 is easy enough. The magazine holds the CO2 and the valve, along with up to 18 steel BBs, or my favorite, the X-Sight Smart Shot Low Ricochet BBs. To load the CO2, start with a drop of pellet oil or silicone on the tip of your CO2. Next, insert the cartridge and use the included tool to seat the cartridge. Next, pull down on the BB tension spring and lock it into place. Load the BBs one at a time by dropping one in and then tipping the mag and letting it fall to the bottom. Once you're done, gently release the tension spring and the mag is ready to go. There's a locking safety which is set with the key. Now I normally run with this off when practicing and just lock it when I store it away. The integrated trigger safety works really well during normal use, and I think that's pretty good. How you choose to operate, I'll leave that up to you. Regardless, treat it 100% of the time like it's loaded and ready to fire. Now to fire, go ahead and insert the loaded mag into the pistol and go ahead and rack the slide to load the first BB and cock the hammer. This gets the M22 ready to roll. Acquire your target and gently squeeze the trigger to fire. There's a nice snap of recoil from the blowback, especially with a fresh CO2. Now let's go ahead and talk performance. I'm getting about 380 feet per second with standard BBs and about 330 feet per second with the heavier X-Sight Smart Shot Low Ricochet BBs. On paper, its max velocity is 400 feet per second, so we're certainly right in the right ballpark. I'm getting just over 4 mags, let's say about 70 to 75 good shots before the CO2 won't properly operate the slide. That's a lot of shooting out of one cartridge. Now, I don't know of any replica pistols that boast match accuracy. Generally, these guns are combat accurate, which is about hitting center mass. The M22 can do that with relative ease out to about 20 feet, maybe 30 feet with practice. making it more than adequate enough for proficiency training and learning how to handle those close-quarter self-defense situations. Practice is the key here, as you need to have it hard-coded into muscle memory if you're going to be able to use it in a pinch. Beyond the practical use, the M22 is just a lot of fun all around, and it's very, very inexpensive to shoot as compared to a traditional firearm. Here are some scenes of me working with the M22. So here's my final summary. The Air Venturi M22 is another airgun in a long list of available realistic CO2 pistols. Now, I've been pleased with everything that matters to me: the styling, the realism, build quality, value, and performance. The weight and form factor are very nice, and the sights are a major plus, especially I really like that adjustable rear sight. Now, there's one thing I'm not super excited about. It is that integrated trigger safety. It can be a little tricky if you don't get it matched perfectly up to the trigger blade. Not a big deal, just take some practice to get used to it. All in all, the M22 is a really nice little air gun. If you've been looking for something in this genre with this styling, you may have just found your next air gun. I'd like to take a moment to thank Pyramid Air for sponsoring AirgunWeb and these videos. Please be sure to take a look at the video description for more information and the links to all the products used in this video. And when you're ready to make your next purchase, do it over at Pyramid Air and let them know that Rick sent you their way. When you're looking for honest, real-world airgun reviews, think AirgunWeb, where we tell you the facts, not fluff. My name is Rick Utzer for AirgunWeb.com. Thanks again for watching.